Hi everybody, this is TJ with Netpicks Inner Circle and the Spotlight Power Trader. I thought with all the increased volatility that we've recently experienced since the start of February that I would do a walkthrough of some of the trade decisions and one of my favorite charts given the current market conditions. We're going to look at the last couple weeks. All the eMinis have been trading really well with this increased volatility, and it's a boon for day traders. This is what we love as day traders. And the Spotlight Power Trader, along with the Counterpunch Trader, and even Trend Jumper, all the strategies that I've created over the years love this additional volatility. But my favorite is the Spotlight Power Trader. That's my newest strategy. And I'm typically using it to trade the Russell eMini and perhaps some other markets like crude oil or unleaded gas futures, the NQ, and we'll look at some of those in subsequent recap videos. But I wanted to start out with the Dow eMini because I think that the Dow eMini has had the best follow-through. It's been the easiest chart to trade and to hit our goals really quickly. If you want to just trade for a few minutes a day, for example, with the current market conditions, you could typically hit your goals in 1, 2, maybe 3 trades and be finished and be literally within several minutes of the market open, be done. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So one thing I want to just air out from the very beginning, whenever we use a Spotlight Power Trader, if we want to be successful with it, we want to stick to what it is designed to do. And the main goal, the overriding goal of the strategy is to be able to quit with a positive result a majority of the time. And that means quit our sessions with a positive result a majority of the time while controlling drawdowns with minimal and efficient trading. That's the philosophy and the overriding goal of the strategy. We're not just going to take random trades. We're going to take trades that fit within a proven and tested trade plan. So if we know our start time, and we know what we're trying to achieve, ultimately we want to hit at target 2. Ultimately, we want to get to our second target and have a positive result, and then we quit. Or 2 money management levels where we actually move the stop and lock in, get to our break even +1 or whatever, and if we get 2 of those and we're positive. We're not just going to keep trading. Some days the market is just not going to cooperate. But that was not the case over the last couple weeks with this great volatility. One more thing I will say is that I typically like the 6-point range bar with the Spotlight, but that was just way too fast. So I doubled it to a 12 tick, and it made for larger trades, but I like the larger trades personally at $5 a point. I didn't think they were too large, and it was still fast, but not too fast. As we go through the trades, I'll walk you through the details. So let's just get started. My charts are set to exchange time. So 8:30, traded out of Chicago. That's when the U.S. markets open. Of course, 9:30 in New York, but 8:30 start time. So this is Monday the 5th. If you remember, this is when the volatility really came in, and you could see that there's just so many bars. So here's a setup here to go long at 8:31, but you notice that it's gray. That's because we're using a filter in this case. We can't go long here until this magenta bar. Okay, and there's a reason for that. I teach that in the training. Gray bars means we're flat. Red bars mean we're in a short trade. Green bars mean we're in a long trade. So the Spotlight shines a spotlight. The Spotlight Power Trader shines a spotlight on our best setups. It's not trying to catch every move. We're looking for very specific setups that put the odds on our side. So if we stick to our trade plan, we have the likelihood of quitting positive a majority of the time with minimal trading, which is our goal, as I said. All right, so, I mean, Spotlight's really good at catching V-shape turnarounds. This was a great trade, but filtered out, so we're still waiting for our first setup. And that one comes here at the right edge of the chart. Click on the bar, and you get the whole trade here. You know where your entry is, your targets, your money management level when you move your stop to break even and start trailing the green line, and your stop. How much are the rewards to each target, how much you're risking, etc., etc. And that's 3.5 minutes into the session. and it does trigger in. So that's our first trade of the session. Long at 25,251. Remember, we want a target 2 winner and a positive result. If we can get that, that's our minimal goal. Or 2 target money management winners. That little tiny dot there is where we start moving our stop to break even. So 2 of those might be what happens sometimes. So you can see it comes up, hits the money management level, and now the trailer is kicking in and starting to move higher. And then we do hit our goal. And we not quite getting to target 3. You could trade multiple positions and scale out at any one of these, or 2 of these, or 3 or 4 of these targets. It's up to you. Okay, but my typical approach is a target 2 and a trailer. And it does stop out with the trailer. So you could see target 2 is good for 46 points. Trailer looks like it got out right around target 1 for 29 points. And that's our goal, right? 1 trade, target 2, we're positive, and it stopped out of the trailer 5 minutes later. So literally 10 minutes into the session, less than 10 minutes, we're hitting our goals. We're done for the day. We're moving on. We don't need to keep trading anymore. If you want to keep trading, you'll learn how to use the idea of trade plans to create subsequent plans for later in the session. You could certainly do that. But we're just going to go with our basic session, and now we're going to go to the next day and see what happened on Tuesday the 6th. All right, so if you'll remember, Monday and Tuesday were both crazy, and here we are now on the 6th, and we're waiting for our 8:30 start time. And there was a nice long trade here. Money management took it out, but look how accurate target 4 was. It missed by just 1 tick, but it's still too early. And so there's a setup there, but it's still too early. It's 2 minutes too early. And that's another nice winner and another pretty accurate target. And now we're still waiting here. And even the short trade is too early. We're not looking to get in sync with the trade. We're looking for a fresh setup. The only time we would get in sync is if it's right near the entry, right at the start time. This one wasn't, because by the time we got to the start time, it had already moved up and it would have been a stop out. So our rules save us. We're still flat, waiting for our start time. You get the short here. That's at 8:30, but it went too fast. And not only did it go too fast, but you can see it's gray. It's filtered out. So that's a trade we would ignore. So we're waiting for our first trade of the day. There's another short, but it's still gray. And there's a reason why it's filtered out. I'm not going to get into the rules of the strategy. You'll learn this if you ever decide to get involved with the inner circle and the spotlight. Okay, so basically we're waiting for our first trade still, and we get one here, and it happens to be a long trade. And look at all this action in here. Was just less than a minute into the session. So you could see this is really moving, but we have time to think, because we get the long trade, you get the full trade, 23,751, and actually that one cancels. So we cancel that order, and we're still waiting for another setup. And you could see here there's one. I already put the numbers in. This is the one we ended up taking. It's 1 minute and 6 seconds into the session. It does trigger in, and it kind of bounces around a little. So, you know, you do have time to think. It literally, within a few seconds, you get to a second chance to get in here. But basically, you have to be decisive. And when you place that order, you would use a template. You could either trade directly from the chart, use the matrix, place it on a different platform like the Thinkorswim active trader window, and have a template with with brackets, so order cancels order. So when you place the trade, you've got targets and stops that you can then move and slide to the proper levels based on your trade data here. So you have a template, maybe it's 30 tick handles on the target and the stop, and then you just slide the stops to 23,699. You could slide the targets to wherever. You could even delete one of them so you have a trailing position. Okay, that's typically how we do it. And this one moves straight up to target. I mean, literally it took just a few seconds, and then we're at break even already. And not much longer, it plows through target 1 for 41 points, $5 a point. So that's $205. And then look at target 2 or target 3, hits it right on the nail. Spotlight is known for its accurate targets because of its counterpunch trader targeting technology that it uses. That was good for 55 points. Came up and went right through target 4. And notice the trailer is going up and up for our second position. And the market just takes off. And we catch this beautiful runner. So we get the best of both worlds. We get the high accurate targets, the highly accurate targets. And we also get to, you know, have our cake and eat it too with a position that catches the home run trade sometimes. And it plows up all the way to here. And that was good for 236 points. And again, one trade. We hit our goals. We're done for the session. And that trade literally took 1 minute. This is why we love volatility. This is why we love the Spotlight Power Trader. And this is why I chose the Dow eMini, because the way it's been trading with the volatility and the follow through, it's just made to order. We love it. All right, looking at Wednesday the 7th, waiting for 8:30. There's one here. It's right at 8:30 in 8 seconds. But this one went too fast because by the time you don't even have time to think. You're 2 seconds already through that entry. So that trade doesn't count, right? If you're using automation, the automation would have grabbed it. There probably would have been slippage to pay. So this trade was too fast, and we're still going to now wait for our first trade of the day. That just wasn't tradable. The markets do what they do. We don't get discouraged. We just stick with the program. So here's another one. It's a long trade. And we're 36 seconds in, but that also is too fast because you'll notice that literally within 5 seconds, I mean, if a really good trader who's practiced could have entered this within 5 seconds, no problem. You click on it with your hotkeys and you could be in that trade. But I considered it too fast. That would have been the goals being reached if you miss a target 2 by 1 tick. And you're talking a 42 tick target, we count that as our goals, even though it would be a partial profit when it stops out here. But we're still going to look for our first trade of the day, one that's easier to enter, right? That's more manageable. And that comes here 1 minute and 17 seconds in. It's a short trade. 24,757 is the entry. And there's plenty of time to get in. You could see all the bars and it comes down. You could hit the entry even on this bar here. Lots of time to place that trade, and that one comes down and ultimately doesn't quite get to its money management level. It misses it by a few ticks, and so our stop stays. Now we have to maybe think about going long, and the way we would do that is we would add a couple ticks because we want to protect the short trade and ask for extra price confirmation going up before we jump to the other side and go long, a stop and reverse. The idea is we want to protect the trade we're in, but we have to respect the fact the market could be turning and going long. And so we can't hesitate. If it is going long, it'd be nice to be able to stop out over here with a stop and reverse and save half the risk on the trade than to have it go up and up and up and take a full risk and not get in on what could be a winning long trade. That's exactly what happens. It pops up. We get long, not at 71, but at 73. And some people may even want to adjust around this little spike. It's okay to add a few more ticks on a big trade like this. But regardless, you're taking less than the full loss on the first trade, and you're getting in on the switch in direction. And because the odds are on the side of these setups, and this is how the trade plan works, we flip over. We can't worry about it. We don't have to win every single trade. The goal is to win our session with efficient trading, right? That's the goal. So we have to just stay on point with that. And it does come up and hit money management. The stop starts moving up, cutting and eliminating risk. Hits target 2. Target 2 is good for 48 points, which was way more than the amount lost on the trade. The full loss on the pink trade was 34, but we lost less than that, right? Because we stopped and reversed midway through it, or almost midway through, whatever, but reduced risk. So target 2, we have a positive result. Our goals are achieved with 2 trades. And if anyone trading to additional targets would have done quite well, look how close target 4 came. Target 3, a nice winner, and then it actually hits target 4 on the nail. Again, a perfect target, and then stops out. So another winning session. So far, we've looked at 4 trades. We've won 3 out of 4, and we've won 100% of each session with minimal trading. And imagine your workday being, 3 to 5, 10 minutes a day. Because if the markets keep trading like this, that's literally how fast we're done with our trade plan goals. As our account grows, we can just increase our position size and leverage up like that. We don't have to work harder. We just give ourselves a raise as we hit certain profit goals following this plan forward. Okay, so Thursday the 7th, some really great pre-market trades. The wild volatility continues, really great swings. The YM following through with these great moves. First trade of the day, still waiting for it, and it comes here. It's a short trade, 6 minutes in, and it comes down, can't quite make new swing lows, and we have to stop and reverse right here. And that one does stop and reverse, and it comes up and hits some really small targets. It's a real small trade. Spotlight is adjusting itself to trade conditions, but it does cut the loss on the yellow trade to literally it's only 10 points. And then it makes 13 points to target 2. So if you're just trading a single position, you're literally done, basically a wash. You make like three points of profit. But if you're trading 2 positions, it comes down and stops out your trailer. And so you're not quite positive yet, and you need another trade. And so then we're just waiting for the next setup. And we get a long trade here, but it was too fast, so I didn't count it, even though it was a winner. This ends up being the trade at 844. And that one comes down, hits money management. The stop moves down. It holds, pushes down. Only gets to target 1, which was 33 points. But if you're not taking profit at target 1, remember you're trailing, you have 2 positions, you're taking profit off here at the trailer with both positions. And that's good for 16 points each for 2 positions, right? 32 points net total. And these 3 trades get you to your power of quitting goals, and you're able to quit another session with a positive result. And when it hits that stop out, you're literally 16, almost 17 minutes into the session, and you're done for the day yet again. Okay, this is Friday the 8th, February the 8th, 2018. Had a really great week so far. 4 winning sessions in a row. The worst day, we had to take 3 trades, whoop-de-doo, and literally had to trade for, 16 minutes in the market or something like that. So you could see we trade for lifestyle. That's part of the goal of the strategy. Pretty noisy in here. Still waiting for our start time. Look how Spotlight stays flat. Doesn't catch the breakout move because this was not a high percentage setup that Spotlight looks for. That doesn't matter. We're just going to stay patient. We don't have to catch every move. We just need to hit our goals. First trade comes here 3 minutes into the session. It's a short trade. Gets short at 24,139. And it comes right on down. What an efficient trade. Look at that. Hitting its money management. Stop moving down, starting to trail. Target 2 achieved. First trade of the day, so naturally it's positive. And then comes up and stops out right here. And that was good for 53 points to target 2. And subsequent position stopping out with a 28-point trailer. And when it does stop out of the trailer, we're still 3 minutes in. So this whole trade lasted about 30 seconds or so. That's it. And we're done. Welcome to the weekend. Now, this video is getting long, so I will do the next week walkthrough as a part 2. But what I do want to show you really quick is the spreadsheet that I use to track these trades. This is the UTA spreadsheet. It's a priceless, invaluable tool that we use. This is available to all Inner Circle members, and all the trades I showed you are typed in here by hand, one for each target level and the trailer. That way I can see how each, get the stats for each exit point if I want. And you could just see there's target 2 hitting 46 points, for example. The trailer got 28 points. But all 5 positions, 159 points. And you could just kind of follow it down. And the weekly total, if going with all 5 positions, nearly 1,000 points. And not very many trades, as you could see in the goals reached. Hitting our goals, quitting positive with minimal trading. I could look at a variety of stats here, but the one we want to look at is our setup type, because this shows you the win rate. It was winning at 78.5% pretty much, and you could see the profit factor and the average dollars per exit point, etc., etc. Not bad. And this is a new sheet because I only put it at 12 points on this day, the 5th. But look at the equity curve going up for the 2 weeks thus far. Gotta love it. So this will be the end of part 1. And we will do part 2 in a subsequent video for those of you that want to see what happened the week that just finished, ending on the 16th of February.